On behalf of the entire Ultimaker team, I want to welcome you to our virtual product launch. I'm Matt Griffin, and I'm the Director of Community Development for Ultimaker. Wherever you are in the world right now, it's fantastic that you can join us here. Today, our focus is software. We finally have the opportunity to take you behind the scenes to meet two new software products that I'm really excited about. With these new titles, companies like yours will achieve more with 3D printing and further professionalize your workflows. The first helps your company fully embed the technology within your infrastructure and manufacturing pipeline. The second accelerates onboarding and skill building for your team. Over the course of this launch, I will introduce you to several of my colleagues, experts who will help you understand why these projects were created and the impact we anticipate them having within our industry. So settle in and we'll get started. And the best part of a virtual launch is that wherever you are, back at the workplace, following social distancing protocols, or at home on your couch with your partner sitting nearby and your child drawing in crayon on the wall, the best part is that you have the very best seat, stool, or standing desk in the house for our event. A little housekeeping. We're going to start with an update about Ultimaker Cura. Then we'll launch the first software product. And because we promised you a double launch, straight after that, we'll reveal the second software. We'll finish up with a live Q&A session for all of your boiling questions, and then we'll send you on your way. All in all, we'll keep it to less than an hour. This event is being recorded, and we'll email you the link to the recording later for further review. And we want you to ask questions. We have a team of moderators whose mission is to read and resolve your questions. You'll see on your screen there's a chat box where you can ask your questions. You don't need to wait until the end. Please feel free to engage with us throughout the broadcast. All right, with the housekeeping out of the way, let's get started with an update from Ultimaker's Chief Marketing Officer, Nuno Campos. Nuno?
Thanks, Matt. When we were planning this event, we realized that although Ultimaker Cura is widely known and used, we haven't really provided really deep insights into our software strategy for quite some time. So let me provide you a quick overview. To do that, I want to answer one simple question. Where are we today with Ultimaker Cura? And here is the short answer. Ultimaker Cura has seen phenomenal growth. But let me give you more detail. Each week, over 3 million slices are made. More than 5 slices every second. Can you believe that? Those slices are made in 197 countries worldwide, which means there are only a few countries where Ultimaker Cura isn't used. Plus, last month, Ultimaker Cura created G-codes for 992 different models of 3D printer. And then on Ultimaker Marketplace, we have 151 predefined optimized print profiles for third-party materials from over 45 leading material companies and 34 plugins, including those that integrate with leading CAD software. Then, on top of all that, last year Ultimaker Cura won 3D printing industry's best software award. Now that's what I call that's impressive. But what do all those numbers really mean? It means that Ultimaker Cura really is a vehicle for worldwide 3D printing adoption. It also means that this software caters to really diverse user needs, from beginners learning 3D printing at school or university to expert application engineers slicing complex projects for the world's top companies. For all these users, Ultimaker Cura is the #1 choice of print preparation software, and it's not difficult to see why. One big part of Ultimaker Cura's success is its slicing engine. It's really powerful, and it gives more people the tools they need to successfully 3D print the way they want. And another reason for Ultimaker Cura's growth is the marketplace. We have always said more materials enable more 3D printing applications. And with all those tested print profiles from leading material companies, the potential number of applications becomes almost limitless. So we are going to continue down this road, keeping Ultimaker Cura free and open source, releasing updates every 2 months. thanks to our development team and awesome community collaboration. At Ultimaker, we want to put production power into the hands of more people, helping users achieve their goals and change the world with local additive manufacturing. And we feel privileged to be able to contribute to this. Back to you, Matt.
That was a great overview, Nuno. Thanks. It's helpful to hear an overview of Ultimaker Cura and the software strategy. While our customers know that there are some star developers in the community making amazing open source contributions, they don't often get to hear about the in house dev team itself. I think I'm safe in saying that they are doing more than just accepting the latest pull requests and calling it a day, right?
Absolutely, Matt. The reality is much more than that. We have a great flow of contributions from the community, users who want to push their 3D printing experience forward. But we are doing a lot more behind the scenes, and it's no accident that Ultimaker Cura is in the position it is in today. First of all, let's remember that this slicing software is made for everyone, from students to professionals, and each different user has their own set of requirements. You might enjoy manually tweaking print settings to optimize your latest 3D printed part down to the minute and gram. While for me, I'll rather make my experience as plug and play as possible, with system wide integrations within a workflow.
Well, that's a good point. So, how do we continue to satisfy the needs of all of these users?
Well, I can summarize Ultimaker Cura future development around three pillars. First is easy of use. We want to make 3D printing accessible to everyone, and we will always chase the dream of more successful prints in fewer clicks. But this will never be at the cost of granular control over print parameters. Ultimaker Cura has over 400 print settings, and we want those to be easy to use too. In fact, if you review all the tooltips in Ultimaker Cura, you would learn a lot about how 3D printing works. The second pillar is simplifying adoption. We want to remove any barrier stopping people from 3D printing. Ultimaker Cura is designed to quickly show the value of 3D printing, whether that's showing the material cost estimate or putting out quality prints so fewer iterations are needed. For example, we have recently launched intent profiles. These help users target key properties without the need to tune settings, so users can reach a valuable end result as quickly as possible. And the last pillar is workflow integration. Anyone can use Ultimaker Cura and add it to their print preparation workflow, no matter what 3D printer you own. And we won't stop adding new printer definitions. But where Ultimaker integration really shines is developing the software to work perfectly with other Ultimaker software, hardware, and materials. For example, right now you can use a community-created plugin to import directly your CAD file into Ultimaker Cura. From there, you can connect to a remote Ultimaker printer via the cloud, slice and print using tested printed profiles and intent profiles, and then monitor the progress of that print job live. And it's about the software supporting that workflow that I have a small announcement. Until last month, this seamless 3D printing experience was made possible with Ultimaker Connect and Ultimaker Cloud. But we have now combined these products without removing any of their functionality into a single, powerful product that we are calling Ultimaker Digital Factory. We launched this just a few weeks ago, and already customers around the world are using it.
I would love to dig a bit deeper into Ultimaker Digital Factory while we're talking about it. So, why did Ultimaker combine and rebrand these two products?
Well, it's mainly because the two overlapped in both functionality and values. Users want printer management and print monitoring that works. But combining Ultimaker Cloud and Ultimaker Connect into a single unified product, the new Ultimaker Digital Factory clarifies and coincides with our vision and the future scope of this product. So now, wherever you are, you can send secure print jobs via the cloud to Ultimaker printers on your network. Then stay informed of print progress thanks to Ultimaker Digital Factory.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks for sharing that story. Now, before we move on from Ultimaker Cura, I have a question about one of its latest development, one that you mentioned just a little bit ago, intent profiles. Could you share a bit more of the thinking behind those profiles?
Of course, intent profiles allow Ultimaker Cura's millions of users to more quickly achieve their definition of print success. For some, that might mean optimizing print speed, while others, they may need print accuracy or surface appearance. So intent profiles offer a new way to simplify slicing for these specific intentions, and the result really reduces time spending iterating and tuning settings.
Thank you, Nuno. I think our users will really benefit from these insights into strategy and development of Ultimaker Cura, and I hope that they will try intent profiles for their next projects. Thanks for joining, and we'll return to you later in this session.
Was great being here, and we will talk more later. And you at home, please stay tuned because when I come back, I'll have more exciting news to share.
And now to provide a practical demonstration of Ultimaker Digital Factory's deeply integrated workflow in action, Product Marketing Manager Elder Linson is going to show a 5-minute demo.
Thanks, Matt. Hello, everyone. I'm Elder, and I'm going to share my screen and show you an example of the Ultimaker Cura workflow in action, so you can have a better understanding of what the software can do. Ultimaker Cura has been developed to provide a seamless slicing experience, which is both fully open and fully integrated with Ultimaker hardware, software, and materials. We'll start with setting up Ultimaker Cura to begin 3D printing. In the beginning of the Startup Wizard, you can choose to log into an Ultimaker account. This account is your key to connected 3D printing. Logging in means you can customize your experience with more print profiles and plugins, you can stay flexible by syncing your setup and loading it anywhere, and you can increase efficiency with remote workflow on Ultimaker printers. This also ensures you have all your settings available at any workstation you need. After logging in, Ultimaker Cura allows to synchronize network and cloud connected printers. There's an Ultimaker S5 available to my account that I can connect to. And I'll add it by clicking the Add button in the far right corner. Ultimaker Cura also automatically detects and notifies you that we can sync all the settings and configurations that are tied specifically to this account. This ensures all material profiles and plugins that you've downloaded from the Ultimaker Marketplace are available and can be synchronized. We can quickly install this by rebooting Ultimaker Cura by clicking the button here. And this is all you need to set up Ultimaker Cura. And now it's time to prepare a print. Let's start by loading a 3D model on the build plate. To do this, you can click the Open File button in the far left corner. Or you can simply drag and drop an STL file into the build plate. The next step is to check the material configuration and the materials you want to print this model with. If you open the Materials tab, we can select a configuration that matches the connected printer immediately. If we want to print with a material configuration that is not already loaded, we can click Custom and select the material from the list. This is also the location where you can select materials that you've downloaded from the marketplace. Today we will select the synchronized setup to prepare our 3D model. Next, it's time to configure the print settings. In the recommended mode, we can prepare a print job with just a few clicks. Here we can also select a few pre-built and thoroughly tested print profiles that are specifically optimized for certain printing intentions. These intent profiles simplify the print preparation workflow to save significant time tuning settings and produce the results needed for a wide range of applications. We can print quick iterations for your initial prototypes with the draft profile. We have the visual concept models with the visual profile. Or we can print parts with more strict engineering tolerances with the engineering profile, all with a single click. For now we will choose the engineering profile, and we will also enable support to automatically generate PVA structures underneath the 3D model. This enables us to print the models more accurately and with a higher success rate. For more advanced users, we also have the custom mode available. This contains a list with over 400 settings and parameters to fine-tune your print depending on your needs and requirements. As an example, we'll just add a little bit more strength to the model by adding one extra wall to the print. And you can see here that I can increase the wall line count from 3 to 4, which will, after preparing the model, add an extra wall to the 3D model. And if we want to prepare the model, all we need to do is to click Slice in the bottom right corner of the screen, and the Cura will prepare the model for 3D printing. After slicing, we can preview the model to show how it will be printed. Now quickly orientate the model a little bit so it's a little bit better to view. In the color scheme menu, you can preview the model by material color, line type, and more. In this case, we'll select the line type to see every aspect of the printed part in more detail. I'll also quickly close the print settings so it's more visible. In the layer slider on the right, we can walk through all the layers of the 3D print to view the infill layers, for example. I'll go down and you can see the inside of the model and how it will be printed. And here we can indeed count 4 walls around the infill, as we have selected within the custom print settings, and this will help to improve the strength of the 3D model. If you are satisfied with the result, you can directly send this print job to the Ultimaker Digital Factory by pressing the print button. And after a while it will send the print job to this application, so it will be picked up by the 3D printer. Let's take a look. The Ultimaker Digital Factory provides powerful cloud-based tools for easy remote management of Ultimaker 3D printers, teams, and software. With this tool, you can deliver a scalable 3D printing workflow that drives innovation. As you can see, the 3D printer has started printing the 3D model. And here in the location just below the print, you will also see when it will be completed. So you can anticipate to remove the printed part from the 3D printer if it's ready. This was a quick demonstration of the printing workflow. But if you are looking for more specific functionality or materials for a specific application, you can use the Ultimaker marketplace of our software ecosystem. You can access this through the account widget on the far right corner or directly through Ultimaker Cura. On the Ultimaker marketplace, you can browse plugins or materials that you need to complement your workflow. For example, if you found a material that will enable you to print certain applications, you can directly add it to Ultimaker Cura with this button, and it will be available immediately the moment that you log in with Ultimaker Cura the next time, or on any workstation you log in with your Ultimaker account. Thank you for watching this demo of the Ultimaker 3D printing slicing workflow. And let's continue to the next part of this launch event.
Thanks, Elder. It really helps to see the workflow in action in order to get a better understanding of how easy it is now to prepare a model in a few clicks and start it printing on a remote machine. While our mid-June launch of Ultimaker Digital Factory wasn't accompanied by that much fanfare, it is in use already. No doubt there are a few who are already familiar with some of what we discussed so far, but you will all soon recognize that we needed the context for Ultimaker Digital Factory to be clear for everyone in our audience before we shift on now to something that's completely new to everyone, our very first product launch of the day. Now, I can think of no one better to introduce you to our first new product announcement than our SVP of software, Paul Hymans. Paul?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Very good to be here and very excited as well. Let me introduce myself. I'm Paul. I've been in software development for almost 20 years now, and I joined Ultimaker to further strengthen and extend our software offering. So with our teams, we want to bring the most valuable 3D printing platform to our customers. And therefore, we build features that help our customers to embrace 3D printing. And with our software, we want to bring value throughout the entire 3D printing workflow.
And you have something very special to share with us today, right?
Yes, indeed. We're launching our first software plan for professional organizations, and it's called Ultimaker Essentials.
So, Paul, first, let me ask you what is probably a pretty obvious question, but an important one. What is Ultimaker Essentials?
Yeah, so Ultimaker Essentials targets organizations. It's a bundle of software, service, and learning. So let me give you some context. Right now, when you sign up to access all the benefits of Ultimaker software, You do that with a personal free account. And this is your key to connected 3D printing. And it already gives you access to Ultimaker Cura settings, backups in the cloud, our marketplace where you can install software plugins, where you can install material profiles, and it enables you to do remote 3D printing with the Ultimaker Digital Factory. And it even serves as your ID for the Ultimaker Community Forum. So with this Ultimaker personal account, this is free and available to anyone. The Ultimaker Essentials organizational account is a paid subscription plan. And that's because it's a solution that's tailor-made for businesses and educational institutes. And we expect that customers will easily achieve return of investment on this because of the value it offers and the increased efficiency you will get. And what is now in Ultimaker Essentials? It has Ultimaker Cura Enterprise, the Ultimaker Digital Factory for organizations, a managed Ultimaker Marketplace, and on top of that, a dedicated support channel, a knowledge base, and we couple it also with learning. And together, these give organizations the tools they need to then scale the benefits of 3D printing and professionalize their infrastructure throughout their company.
You sound really excited about this. Let's explore this further. Why should our customers be excited as well?
Well, to set the context, as Nuno and Elder mentioned earlier, we want to deliver value to the entire 3D printing workflow, from identifying which parts to 3D print, from actually designing it, making the CAD drawing, slicing it, managing your print jobs, inspecting the parts, and doing this all over again. And we already have software that helps you there, like Cura and our Digital Factory. But we want to add even more features to help you. However, when we talk to our customers and we talk to professionals who are looking to increase their use of Ultimaker technology to really leverage the power of 3D printing and produce the parts they need, we see they face some challenges. To widely adopt 3D printing in their company, they need to maintain enterprise-grade IT policies. And that obviously leads to some friction with our current open offering. So Ultimaker Essentials helps to remove those IT-related barriers. So more professional organizations can come with us on this journey to do more with 3D printing.
Okay, that sounds perfect. And it's called Ultimaker Essentials because it's really about getting the basics in place. That really makes sense. But I'm curious about these barriers you mentioned. Can you be more specific about what the IT barriers are?
Yeah, of course, by talking to our customers, we distill three main IT barriers preventing this wider 3D printing adoption within the companies. They are software security, distribution, and stability. And obviously the underlying support you actually need.
So security, distribution, stability. Let's go into details with these. Let's start with security. Now, I know IT experts are particularly excited about this update. It is for them, but I don't work in IT. Why is this a great tool for IT professionals?
Yeah, so when it comes to security, it's understandable that open source software like Ultimaker Cura doesn't always translate too well in a more regulated enterprise IT environment. And on top of that, we have this open plugin structure, which makes Cura extendable, and it's great, but it could also potentially introduce some vulnerabilities. So that's what we often hear from engineers and designers. They are passionate about 3D printing, and they see the potential benefits it could bring to their teams, but they're unable to really champion that technology because Ultimaker Cura does not meet the IT policies in place in their company. So before they can use this leading slicing software and use it more widely, we need to minimize the risk of any exploitation. So with Ultimaker Essentials, that security is our priority, and we're deeply committed to this. So what we have done with Ultimaker Cura Enterprise, we helped to remove this security barrier. We had an assessment of an independent company, a security company, using a number of industry standard practices, code review, pen testing, etc., to really scan each major software release for vulnerabilities. And as many of you know, we have the Ultimaker Marketplace, and there you can find plugins and material profiles to extend Ultimaker Cura. These packages are also verified to enable those users to more securely benefit from these plugins. So in Essentials, you will have a marketplace of verified plugins which are safe to use. And obviously, the digital factory has also been taken into account. All the components of Ultimaker Essentials have been externally assessed, so there is a reduced level of risk to the organization. And we, as Ultimaker, commit to making continuous security improvements to ensure ever-increasing safety for enterprise infrastructure. And again, we do this for all the components in our software ecosystem. So Cura Enterprise, Digital Factory, Marketplace. So it's really safe to use it in your organization.
I've heard from customers with complex infrastructure needs, architecture firms, manufacturing within global enterprises, and similar, that they wish our software was easier to integrate deeply into their existing IT infrastructure. Based on what you're explaining here, it sounds like these new features start to do this. What can you tell me about deployment? I know that's one of the things that teams keep bringing up.
On that topic, indeed, the software challenge is distribution. Several companies do not find it a scalable solution to have individual installations of software on different workstations. These workstations need to be updated one at a time, which doesn't lead to an optimal experience for the user and also not for IT professionals. So the IT team wants to be sure they are able to deploy the right software tools to those who need them at the moment they need them. And instead of, as we currently do, individual users downloading Cura themselves, upgrading themselves. They want to orchestrate this from the IT side. Ultimaker Cura Enterprise also provides in that. So IT can download an MSI package, which is an installer file, so they can deploy it automatically and managed over their workstations. So that's on the Ultimaker Cura part. Now in Ultimaker Essentials, we also bring you security and distribution in the cloud environment. So the digital factory, where you can remotely manage your print jobs, we have added an organization to that. And that means the following. In my open personal account, I can invite the entire soccer team to actually print on the printers in my company. And my boss potentially wouldn't like that. So with Ultimaker Essentials, you get the concept of an organization in the digital factory. And that means that the IT administrator can control which users do have access to your printers.
You mentioned that there was one more feature, stability. My experience with Ultimaker Cura has been pretty hardy and robust. What stability differences are there for enterprise subscribers to Ultimaker Essential?
So to add to that, we already heard from Nuno that Cura is very popular. Every week we have millions of slices being made by the community. And every 2 months we release a new version of Cura. In that new version, we bring also new features. Enterprises are not always waiting for these new features. They prefer to have stable software. So therefore, we now release every 6 months Ultimaker Cura Enterprise. And that is an enterprise release which has the features that have been rolled out to the field before. So we're sure that they have fully been tested in the community. And that makes actually Ultimaker Cura Enterprise the most tested enterprise-grade 3D printing software in the world. And that's obviously great news for stability. And on top of that, we will support that Ultimaker Enterprise version every 12 months. So that means that companies do not need to upgrade every 2 months, which is not always appreciated. If you have an issue, you don't need to upgrade to the next open version, which will potentially fix your issue, but could also bring you features that you are not waiting for at that moment. With the enterprise version, you can actually file a ticket, user support channel, and we'll get you a patch for that issue. So you will get a new version of Cura Enterprise, but just with that issue fixed, which obviously is a big thing for stability.
That's a big deal. That's going to be a real value add for a lot of our enterprise customers. But you said there's that Essentials is more than just software. You mentioned another key part of the customer feedback collected was that companies requested a support channel to help with setting up and troubleshooting internal 3D printing systems. It sounds like if a user can open a ticket, that really is a big difference. You said Ultimaker Essentials also is a subscription that contains support. So what does Ultimaker Essentials offer in this area?
Certainly, yes. Support is another key part of what we're announcing today. So by subscribing to Ultimaker Essentials, IT professionals can gain access to an exclusive knowledge base just for them. It has the security documentation, it has the security assessment, And it also has up-to-date information about distribution solutions and how to integrate 3D printing with their IT infrastructure. So because no one's company setup is the same, there are obviously different configurations possible. So if that doesn't suffice and you still have a support issue or any other matters regarding that setup, you can actually file a ticket. And you don't need to solely rely on the community to help you out. And if you file a ticket, you will get support from an Ultimaker technician for any IT-related queries. We have an SLA, so a service level agreement. That means that we will respond within 24 hours on business days. So that's also a solution that makes our offering really enterprise grade.
Fantastic. Okay, so for the last component, the learning element, we do have a big announcement that's coming up in the next section. So let's hold off on that one for a moment. Instead, let's talk about Essentials taken as a whole. So taken as a whole, Ultimaker Essentials seems like an excellent match for our top customers. But what about the rest of our customers? Is this a product for those who are not in Fortune 1000 top enterprises?
Yeah, well, we created Ultimaker Essentials, also taking the top companies into our minds. But actually, it's a good solution for any professional organization. So from small to medium to large, from businesses to educational institutes, we see the software bundle as really being ideal for any of them. Any organization that wants to professionalize their 3D printing setup, their workflow, and standardize on its use to be able to scale it now or in the future, can use Essentials. And the price is also pretty modest, so it's really not only for the big players.
Excellent. So let me go over what you've just said, just in case I missed anything. So Ultimaker Essentials. It includes a more stable and secure version of Ultimaker Cura, Ultimaker Cura Enterprise, one that has all the really proven in the field features and is supported for an entire year. The entire bundle has undergone a independent security review, and now more users can leverage access to this solution at scale thanks to managed distribution. Now, on the Ultimaker Digital Factory front, this component helps companies create a 3D printing infrastructure for their business, and this includes remote management of multiple printers and teams, sharing within your organization, so you can't let your soccer team print on your work printers. And all of this, again, has been security reviewed, so users can use the managed Ultimaker Marketplace features for plugins and materials, but the IT team will know that all of these solutions have been carefully reviewed and that everything is safe. I think that's everything, right?
Yes, you get all. You're spot on. You paid good attention, Matt. Yeah, these are really the key components. But what I want to stress out that we at Ultimaker want to bring even more value to the entire workflow. And then you can think about advanced printer management, a digital library of approved parts, print process quality reporting, and many other features. But to actually use those features, the users need to be allowed to use our software within their organization. So that's why Essentials is such a big step for us. It's the first step into this future vision. We are on this journey to add value with our software to the entire 3D printing workflow, and we've got big plans there. Essentials is a big step in this journey, and it really means that you can be more confident to innovate with your tools, and you can professionalize your IT environment, you can professionalize your workflow, you can be more confident thanks to increased level of support that we bring you. You will have a reduced risk of business disruptions, and you have dedicated support channels when there is really somebody to help when things go wrong. And ultimately, this means that more company can integrate 3D printing in their current IT infrastructure. And this will just accelerate 3D printing adoption across the organization. And what's also very important to note is this is software, and our teams will be continuously developing our software proposition. So we will add value more and more and more. And this is just the first step to eliminate the barriers we discussed.
I love how you're thinking big here. Essential seems to raise the bar for the kind of 3D printing experience we want our industry customers to have. Awesome. So thanks for sharing that, Paul. And before we wrap up this discussion of essentials, we should go over one last detail. You mentioned that Ultimaker Essentials will be a paid subscription plan. So I'll ask the question that a lot of viewers are curious about. When will all this be available and what will it cost?
Yeah, so we'll open general availability for Ultimaker Essentials per October 2020. And it starts at 250 euros or 300 US dollars per year per organizational unit. And we feel at this price, it will really be a challenge and not to achieve return on investment. But actually the best news I can bring now is that we have an early access program. And that means that from today, Ultimaker Essentials is available and it's free. So I really would urge you to ask your reseller to get you signed up so your company can actually use Ultimaker Essentials in the early access period. You can experience the scalable benefits it will bring without any charge, without any risk, and then you can decide for yourself if you sign up by October.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us, Paul.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was really excited to be here.
I encourage all of our customers, again, to ask the resellers for early access so they can start benefiting today. As a reminder to attendees, Ultimaker Essentials was only the first product we're launching today. For the second launch, I'm going to invite back Ultimaker CMO, Nuno Campos. Hi again, Nuno.
Hi, Matt. It's great to hear about all the barriers that Ultimaker Essentials will be removing for more companies to easily adopt and scale 3D printing. But you might be surprised to learn that enterprise IT integration isn't actually the biggest barrier to accelerating the growth of 3D printing today. With every company we work with, we see a common trend. Many businesses could benefit from 3D printing, but a lack of knowledge among employees is preventing or slowing adoption. For example, we often hear questions like, which applications are right for FFF 3D printing? Are the materials actually good enough that I can use a 3D printed part? And we find that often a lot of support and collaboration is needed to help companies really drive value with 3D printing, identify application opportunities, build business cases, and more. To confirm this trend, in August last year, we commissioned an independent research company to survey over 1,200 professionals around the world. And we published the results in the Ultimaker 3D Printing Sentiment Index. As part of this survey, we also learned that 41% agreed with the statement, the number of people in our business who know very little about the technology is challenging. 40% also said, we currently lack the skills to make the best use of 3D printing. And a huge 69%, more than two-thirds, consider lack of knowledge to be a barrier to 3D printing adoption, making it the single biggest adoption barrier overall. I wonder if this also sounds familiar to you. You may already be aware of the benefits that 3D printing could bring to your company. Will it make a big difference if more of your engineers, designers, colleagues knew how to use the technology perfectly? What difference will it make if they all work at the same pace and spoke the same language? What if there was a way to increase knowledge of 3D printing across the whole organization, so managers could train employees to the same level of knowledge? Well, today I'm thrilled to announce the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy, an e-learning platform that helps businesses maximize the value of 3D printing and transform your designers and engineers into a team of rapidly iterating, highly innovative, revenue-generating 3D printing experts.
Thanks so much, Nuno. Thanks again for joining us today to announce this major new initiative from Ultimaker. I'm now joined by Cecilia to help us address the details for how this will work. Hi, Cecilia.
Hi, Matt. How are you doing? I've seen a lot of you in e-learning. Nice to see you outside of it.
Helping out with those videos was a lot of fun. I look forward to attempting the e-learning modules I performed in to see if I pass. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Why don't you tell us what you and your team are working on?
Of course. The Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy is our flexible online learning platform that teaches you and your team to maximize the value of 3D printing in the organization. To build this digital library, we are spending a lot of time gathering and recording the combined knowledge of Ultimaker's 3D printing experts, like you, and we are turning that knowledge into actionable, down-to-earth learning that companies need. So that means anyone can fast-track the training process and build a team that gets results and gives your business a competitive edge.
I suspect that almost everyone watching is familiar with the concept of e-learning. Certainly any parents of students who have been spending a lot more time lately taking classes online. But to get all of us on the same page, can you explain how Ultimaker's e-learning platform works?
As Nuno mentioned, we organize the content around the 3 roles that will add the most benefit for our customers: the printer operator, the application engineer, and the IT admin. The e-learning platform gives you access to different learning plans that are specific to these different roles. These learning plans contain courses on multiple topics, and those courses contain modules that you can zip through and provide really snackable learning. You can use the platform on any device: desktop, tablet, or mobile. And it's flexible, so you can choose which courses you want to prioritize. This means that you can learn at your own pace and all your progress is saved as you go. To give you an idea, here on my screen, I have what the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy will look like at the end of a year. After logging in, I have an overview of the different roles, the highlighted courses, plus the product trainings. It's easy to select the learning plan and jump right in. Well, that's all pretty standard for e-learning, but what makes the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy special is our approach. We believe that, just like 3D printing adoption, learning is also a journey. For that reason, at the start of each module, you will meet the Ultimaker expert who will accompany you as you progress through the module. Then you're given the choice to really dive into an area you're interested in, with various interactive elements, and level up your learning at your own pace with short self-tests at the end of each module.
You mentioned different roles. Who is the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy for, and how can organizations benefit?
The platform is aimed at professionals and companies who want to max out what they can do with a 3D printer and unlock more value. Right now, as part of Ultimaker Essentials, the IT admin role, essential to a productive 3D printing infrastructure, is available today. Plus, we also created product-specific trainings for Ultimaker customers who register their 3D printer. You will not only learn how to set up your printer, but also how to maintain it, use Ultimaker Cura, and so much more.
Okay, this already sounds like a good start. But let's talk some more about where e-learning is going as it matures and as we launch more content.
What I'm truly excited about is that by the end of the year, we will offer learning plans for 3D printer operators and application engineers who have the skills to identify, develop, design, and print new functional applications and drive adoption of 3D printing in their company. These are the people who inspire us every day with their innovative uses of 3D printing. So I cannot wait for learners to surprise us with their new applications.
I can't wait either. What else will users gain from the e-learning system in the future?
Well, when I talked about the basic structure of our content, I left out something important. Coming later this year, we will also be able to become Ultimaker certified. But I will warn you now, these certification exams won't be easy. And there will be eventually 3 levels of certification: associate, professional, and expert. Put this all together, and what does this mean? It means that organizations can increase their ambitions with what they can achieve with 3D printing, generating the most value out of this incredibly powerful technology. We want to empower our customers to overcome problems they encounter every day, and we created the modules with this in mind. The content is action-focused and relevant to today's real-life situations, but also for tomorrow's. So once you've completed a course, you can start applying that new knowledge straight away. And beyond just using 3D printing effectively, it also means that companies that enroll their teams can expect a higher level of collaboration and innovation to achieve their goals and scale up with 3D printing.
Okay, to recap this, we have a short animation that we're going to play now.
The Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy brings professionally crafted 3D printing lessons to you. Learn what you want, when you want, as you level up through role-specific courses designed to transform your users into 3D printing experts, with an Ultimaker certification to prove it. After earning their certifications, your users will possess a full knowledge of the benefits of 3D printing, enabling them to collaborate, iterate, and innovate faster than ever before. Your organization will then be able to effectively and efficiently overcome real-life problems, achieve goals, and scale up, giving you a competitive edge. The Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy. Learn 3D printing your way.
The IT Admin Learning Plan and the product-specific trainings are available today. But remind us again when the rest of the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy is launching.
Yes, so for those who subscribe to Ultimaker Essentials, the IT Admin Plan is available today. One thing to remember though is that while these are live today, we are still working on them and more modules will be published in the near future. Then later this year, we will add the application engineer and print operator roles along with associate level exams so users can get certified. And for those who want to go beyond associate level, we will be adding professional and expert levels as soon as they are ready.
This project is clearly ambitious, and I know how much time your team and the experts have been putting into this already. What's Ultimaker's motivation behind creating all this high-value content?
Well, it really goes back to who we are as Ultimaker. As Nuno said, it's our vision with e-learning to remove any knowledge barrier that's stopping people from 3D printing. It's what we think about every day. I truly believe, as a manufacturer, this is our obligation to our customers. So that's why, when it comes to the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy, we have to think big. And we look forward to the moment all the content becomes available later this year, so users can learn how to unlock real value with 3D printing for their company.
Okay, so now I want to enroll right now, but it looks like I'll have to wait a little bit. Is there a way that users can sign up for this right now?
Yes, so to make sure you're the first to hear about updates on the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy, you can register your interest at ultimaker.com. Then, of course, if you want to access the IT Admin Learning Plan, that's for Ultimaker Essentials, so definitely get in touch with your reseller about that. And then finally, if you have an Ultimaker 3D printer, we have some great product courses available right now.
Thanks so much, Cecilia. We are all looking forward to joining you in the Ultimaker Academy.
Thank you, Matt.
As Cecilia said, helping more people access and adopt 3D printing is really part of our DNA at Ultimaker. And by removing these barriers, it means that adoption can only go faster. All right, we've covered a lot in this session. Ultimaker Cura, with its ease of use and intent profiles, brings more power and capability to its diverse, growing user base. Ultimaker Essentials, we revealed an entirely new software bundle that lets businesses deploy and scale 3D printing innovation with enterprise-grade software. And then with Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy, an e-learning platform that tremendously accelerates skill building for 3D printing within your organization. But best of all, how all these software products are knitted together to help your businesses accomplish more with 3D printing, to help your teams arrive at the innovative solutions that deliver real value. I'm sure many of you have burning questions. If you haven't already, I invite you to ask them via the chat box. We'll be right back as we set up for the live Q&A.
Hello again, my name is Elder. I'm a product marketer at Ultimaker, and I'll actually be hosting this live Q&A session for today as well. But before I actually start with answering your questions that you send us, I would like to ask you also whether you're interested in the Ultimaker Essentials or Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy. We've actually, of course, launched these new products and talked about all the value that it can deliver for your organizations. So we're really curious of what do you feel about these products after this session. So you should see a poll right now in screen. And if you can fill it in, we'll share the results at the end of the session in the chat. So without further ado, I'll go towards the first questions that we've received from you. This one is from David, but we've actually received it a few times, and that is what is Ultimaker's approach on security? And really like to elaborate on this because this is of course an important factor of Ultimaker Essentials being an enterprise offering. And well, we approach our security with a few guiding principles, is that we reduce business disruptions, we try to avoid loss of information, unauthorized access, but also no loss of print quality. And these guiding principles are taken up all the way from the beginning of the development of our software towards the maintenance of our software. And in addition to that, in addition to our own quality assurance, we also ask an external organization to assess the security, so we are able to mitigate any vulnerabilities we find before we go live with the product. And this enables us to try to really are committed to making the most secure application as we can. But we are also transparent on the findings, because with Essentials you can find a security assessment report and summary on our knowledge base and available. So this details the approach that we took and details an overview of the security of our software systems. So that means that customers or users, they can also take their own opinion and make their own assessment or judgment on whether the security fits the requirements of their IT infrastructure. And but I really encourage you to go into this knowledge base, because there is quite a lot of documentation available right now as of today to look into that and see the security of our solutions for yourself. And that's, I guess, a summary of our security approach. Kim asked us whether Ultimaker will keep on developing for the regular Cura. I'm also happy that this question is asked, because the answer is yes. Because with Ultimaker we see a very wide range of users that use our platform. So this goes all the way from the community that really tinker with the 3D printing settings, all the way towards enterprises that really want to incorporate 3D printing as into their official workflows, but they also want to print with the click of a button. So with Cura we can facilitate the needs of these customers in various ways. For example, the regular Cura, we can add new settings to make sure that there are more possibilities in tuning the printing outcome. While for intent profiles, we can ensure that customers can really print with the click of a button directly with an application in mind. And here it's important to know that the regular Cura we will keep on releasing for roughly every 2 to 3 months, but just every half a year we will package the new Cura Enterprise for businesses or for enterprises, and we will release that every half a year alongside the regular Cura release cycles that we will follow. Takman asked us is how long an early access subscription will be valid. Yes, so like we said, Ultimaker Essentials will be generally available in October, but right now it's available as early access. And early access is free, so really we encourage you to subscribe today, and it will be free all the way towards October when it becomes generally available. After that you can purchase a subscription for €250 or $300, and that one will be valid for a year. So that will have to be renewed every year, but you'll get a year-long access to Ultimaker Essentials starting from October. Tom asks us, this is around the Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy, when it's launched in October, what courses will be available for their organization? Well, like we discussed today, we actually already launched the IT Admin Learning track as part of Ultimaker Essentials, so customers can, IT admins can really ramp up 3D printing adoption in their organization. But we also discussed that this IT barrier is not the only barrier that customers face. They also have the knowledge barriers and the capability barriers on making sure that 3D printing becomes more valuable for their organization, or they can make better use of 3D printing. And that's what we will tackle in October with the introduction of the Application Engineer Learning track and the 3D Printing Operator Learning track. Because these focus on barriers like finding the correct application for your organization, or learning design for 3D printing, design for FFF, but also, of course, 3D printing maintenance or making sure that there is a consistent 3D printing output. And in that case, with these courses, we really we expect that we will even lower the knowledge barrier even more to really empower these users to make 3D printing even more powerful and valuable at their organization. Stephanie asked us is whether the Ultimaker Digital Factory is also available for free accounts. It's a good question, and the answer is yes. It's already available today. It is available for quite a while now. And you can access this with a regular Ultimaker account, or of course Ultimaker Essentials. So I really encourage you to really try it out if you have an Ultimaker 3D printer, of course, and see how the Digital Factory can deliver this global scalable workflow for you or your organization. Laura asked us, what are the differences in the certification levels of the 3D Printing Academy? This difference really resides in what is the initial expertise of the customer, but also what kind of level they want to achieve. And with the associate certification that we will launch now in October, the biggest point is that a customer doesn't need to have any prior knowledge of 3D printing. They can get all this beginning knowledge through the 3D Printing Academy to really begin driving value of 3D printing. So that means that you can really start with 3D printing through the associate courses. But of course, it's also important that customers can make it towards the next step. And that's where the next levels of certification will focus on to really go from the beginning, from the start of 3D printing journey, all the way towards real professionalization and really getting a 3D printing mindset. So that will be the focus on the different levels of certification that will become available. Esteban asked us whether any feature of regular Cura will become restricted for Cura Enterprise. And here the answer is actually no. We have regular Cura, like we said, is developed for a very wide range of audiences, but we don't take away any functionality that regular Cura has right now and put it behind Cura Enterprise and behind Ultimaker Essentials. Cura Enterprise has a very distinct set of features like IT stability or security improvements, and of course also distribution across the organization. And Cura Enterprise is there to really tackle those, but those are functionalities that are added on top of the regular Cura and will not and Cura Enterprise will not take away any features that are in the regular Cura right now. Kevin asked us whether they can access e-learning without Essentials. And the answer is yes there. Well, like Cecile already introduced, today we launched the ICT Admin Learning track for Essentials, but also if you have a 3D printer right now that you bought, you can register it online and you'll be able to access a 30-minute product introduction course that will teach you on the workflows like using Cura, using Digital Factory, but also providing maintenance of your 3D printer and making sure that it stays in pristine conditions. Those are available in addition to Essentials. So if you have a 3D printer, an S3, S5 or S5 Pro bundle, I encourage you to really register it online so you can get into this product training course on the e-learning Ultimaker 3D Printing Academy. We've actually reached the end of this session. Unfortunately, if there are any questions that are still open that you have, we can follow up on this after this launch event. But I really want to thank you for your attendance and of course all the speakers that were here on really showing the Ultimaker Essentials and 3D Printing Academy products. But before we close, I would like to ask you a huge favor because there is a survey at the end of this session, and if you can fill that in, then we can make sure that we improve towards next time. So thanks a lot, and I hope to see you in our next sessions.